Last year, audiences were treated to the nearly 3-hour biographical film that was Baz Luhrmann's Elvis. That movie was a critical and commercial success, spurring renewed interest in the king of rock and roll. But that film, likely due to the direct involvement of Elvis's estate, glossed over certain details of Elvis's life. That's a persistent issue that seems to persist with biographical films about musicians. In order to use the musician's music, they have to play by certain rules. And that, in turn, is part of what makes Priscilla, a film that notably has very minimal usage of Elvis's music, so compelling. It dares to show the dark side of Elvis, even running afoul of the powers that be in the process. But the source material for this film is not some tabloid gossip. Rather, it's Priscilla Presley's own memoir. She also serves, by the way, as executive producer on the film. What we have in Priscilla the movie is not so much a portrait of her, as much as it is a portrait of her often tumultuous relationship with Elvis. The movie's breezy cinematography and vintage aesthetic give it a feeling of a Lana Del Rey music video, both in style and substance. The film, like Del Rey's music, expresses a sense of longing a woman has for a man that's toxic for her. Side note, I did just learn that apparently Lana Del Rey almost recorded a song for this film, but had to drop out due to a scheduling issue. Big missed opportunity in my opinion, although it does have some good music to make up for it. But anyway, at the center of the film are Oscar buzzworthy performances from Cailee Spaeny and Jacob Elordi, who each nail the assignment as Priscilla and Elvis, respectively. Aided by some extraordinary hair and makeup, Spaeny completely transforms into Priscilla at every stage of her life portrayed on screen. When the movie starts out, we see Priscilla when she is living with her family in Germany, where her father is stationed with the US military. This happens to coincide with the time period where Elvis was also serving in the military after enlisting in the US Army. Their paths cross, and Elvis shows a romantic interest in Priscilla. And this is where things start to feel really uncomfortable. That's because Elvis was 24, and Priscilla was just 14. Even by standards of the late 1950s, this caused a level of whispers amongst the people in Elvis's orbit, who noticed that Priscilla appeared to be, well, a child. From the very start of their relationship, there is a significant power imbalance between Elvis and Priscilla, and we see that the relationship means something much different to Elvis than it does to her. The film portrays Elvis as cheating on Priscilla, giving her drugs, manipulating her, and even throwing things at her when he gets angry. While it's uncomfortable to watch, the film never comes across as some sort of mommy dearest-esque exploitation film. Spaeny and Elordi present the relationship in a way that feels real. While you can see the pain in each of these characters, you can also see that they did genuinely care for each other. It was an emotionally complicated situation for both of them. But as the film progresses from one event to the next, a move to Vegas, getting married, having a baby, it starts to feel like the film is just kind of meandering about. There was a certain hollowness to the script that felt like it was just checking off boxes. I have to wonder if Priscilla Presley's direct involvement with the film, or even threats of litigation from Elvis's estate, made Sofia Coppola and her team feel as if their hands were tied somehow. And that's another challenge when trying to tell a compelling story based on someone's real life. Life doesn't always flow neatly into a cohesive narrative with a distinct beginning, middle, and end. Sometimes it needs a little narrative oomph, and that's what I feel was missing from the film. There's a lot that can be said about Priscilla's life story, but once the credits started rolling, I didn't feel like the movie quite knew what to say about it. What was this film's point of view? I don't really know. I do think Priscilla is worth watching at least once. The film may be imperfect, but its performances certainly are not. It's a beautifully shot film with a fascinating character study from both of its lead actors. Priscilla Presley's perspective is important to be told if we're going to have a well-rounded view of Elvis's legacy, and I do think this film can be a starting point to have that conversation. I give Priscilla 3 out of 5 stars. You can watch Priscilla in theaters now.